This program was made possible by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, the Ruth Mott Foundation, and the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan Foundation.
A lot more than there were last year.
Look at that. Harry, look at this.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Handmade this journal, and it's got a white page on one side doing my drawings and then lined on the other. So I can press things and draw them. And then I write about the different things that I see.
I like the pines, and I like the way their needles are so soft, and the way that they like move around when the wind blows. It's really nice. That one I call Laughing. That one's Thunder. I named that one Laughing because it sort of like laughs in the wind.
For many children, the first window to wonder is often nature.
Play is the work of childhood. Play is the place where kids learn to master their environment.
The state of play is disappearing in many places, and that's a problem because play is a really core, essential element of human life.
Childhood in America is in trouble. Obesity is rampant. Play spaces are disappearing. Drug prescriptions for physical and psychological problems are at an all-time high. For a growing number of children, life is structured in a way that separates them from nature.
For tens of thousands of years, for all of human history and prehistory, human children went outside and spent much of their lives in nature, either working or playing. And within the space of 2 or 3 decades in Western society, we're seeing the virtual end of that.
A generation or two ago, the parents were pretty much hands-off. There was not the perception that it was dangerous to be out in the streets if you were in a city, and if you were in a rural setting, you generally didn't have an automobile to take you in to practice football or volleyball or some such thing. Kids were left largely on their own in the afternoon after school to sort of make up whatever kind of play they wanted to.
In the 60 years since World War II, childhood has moved from the outdoors in contact with nature to the indoors. Instead of fields of dreams, childhood is now lived by text message, the internet, and television. The desperate yearning children once felt to finish their homework and piano lessons so they could go outside and play has slowly been lost. Today, nature is an abstraction, a tool. It's where obesity camp takes place, or the regimented programming of the suburban soccer meet. But how did we get to this point? Has childhood really gone off track? In the 1800s, most people lived on farms. But in the last half of the 20th century, a profound social shift took place. Americans sold the increasingly unprofitable family farm, and race and desegregation in cities sent millions of white families to the perceived safety of the suburbs. We called that the pursuit of the American dream, but so many families followed, the quality of suburban life and the dream began to suffer. The farm next door became another housing development. Woods disappeared. Children no longer had access to natural areas. Whatever open outdoor space that was left was often cut off by new 6-lane highways and choking traffic. An important part of growing up was slowly being lost.
What's happening now is we have parents who think that good parenting is creating certain discrete opportunities for their children, and they're pushing them in that direction. And as a result, things like play become secondary, not as important as an organized activity, not as important as something that'll get you into college. Big mistake.
I think there's a great cost to children's inability to have a kind of private life in nature and to explore and adventure on their own or with their peers and to enjoy that with freedom.
My feeling is that play is so deeply rooted in all of us as humans, in our species, that we have to pay due attention to it, and we have to allow those experiences to come out in children's play.
First thing we should do is a rattlesnake. There's emerald ash spore engravings on here. Look. Cool. Hey, come back here, fly.
When play is child-driven, when kids figure out what they want to do, when they're on their own playground or out in the backyards or on the streets themselves, they're learning what they like. They're learning what they're not so good at. They're learning what they're great at. They're learning to get up when they fall down, and they're learning to take chances. They're learning peer negotiation skills. These are all incredibly, incredibly important traits to bring them into adulthood.
Get these leaves to absorb it.
I come to the conclusion that what we really need in the country is not a Leave No Child Behind movement. We need a Leave No Child Inside campaign.
If there is a place reminiscent of how growing up in America used to be, it may be Beaver Island. It sits in isolation, 30 miles out into Lake Michigan, and is reached from the mainland only by ferry or small plane. The island has 600 residents, 1 school, 85 students, kindergarten through 12th grade. There are no McDonald's, Burger Kings, Targets, or Walmarts.
Here, you go to the local grocery store and they hold your baby for you while you do your shopping and stuff, you know.
And while television and the internet reach the island, children here make their way to the main street in town and meet instead of text messaging or emails.
So I don't really have an email or anything like that. Everybody's like, oh, can I have your email address? I'm like, I don't have one. The only time I really use the computer is if I need to look up something for homework.
The next couple years.
Oh.
overtake you?
We go to the mainland about maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times a year.
What I don't like about here is that you can't do what you can there. Like, you can't go to the theater. Sometimes I wish I could when I'm like bored and it's nothing to do here.
According to the 2000 census, the main industry here is construction and tourism. In the summer, income levels go up considerably as the tourist population swells. While some of the population is Native American, the majority of the year-round Beaver Island residents are of Irish ancestry. And almost everyone here either knows or is related to everyone else. And while Beaver Island lacks a lot of modern conveniences, people here feel compensated in other ways.
Well, you wake up in the morning and you look outside and you can open a door and stand on your deck. And there'll be the nice warm morning breeze, and then you just feel so great because then you can hear the birds chirping and the nice wind and stuff, and the waves going against the shore seems really nice, and I like it a lot.
It's not uncommon for children to start working before the age of 10. 11-year-old Desire Duhamel helps her father, Skip, and his partner, James Kenwa Bakizzi, on their fishing boat.
Still been marking them. I think, didn't we mark them all summer long here last year? Never did set one here. We'll try it this year.
Skip and James are Native American and fish under Native treaty rights. James' family has been on Beaver Island since before the first Europeans set foot here in the 1700s.
Mm-hmm. Get me another box.
Is those the ones with the teeth?
Just grab the whole box. Yeah, drag her back there. You can get her.
My dad fishes, and he also carves totem poles. And my mom and I work at the fish market. He brings in the fish, fillets them, I help scale them, and then we sell them in the market, and some of them we smoke in the smoker.
You like the compass page better than the chart page? Yeah. Okay, well, you got it handled then. I'll go back and clean some more fish.
Started like when I was like 2 years ago. Started driving, learning how to drive the boat with the GPS and stuff. You know, they scale and play. I drive. Just makes you feel kind of like you're away from the whole world, you know, just like you're kind of free. You can just do whatever. They'd have a big box of fish guts, and I just would start flinging them off and stuff. And like, I don't know, it's just weird. I always like the feel of the sliminess. I don't know, it just was weird. And all my friends would get totally grossed out by it when I told them. They'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so disgusting. I'm like, it's not that bad.
You always bend your elbow and you always leave your hands open. And that way the bow can move how it's supposed to. Did I hit it?
On Beaver Island, I hate to say it, but you don't have to follow all the rules all the time, regardless if it's hunting or anything else. But I think it's really important that you do, and we make sure that we teach the children that, you know, what's in season, what's not in season, what's the limit, how you can do it, when you can do it. It's all about good sportsmanship, which I think is important in life in general. Dylan's 11, he'll be 12 in a few months, and he'll be able to go bow hunting. You know, it's beaches right across the road, and we have ponds and creeks.
I go hunting a lot
out back there. We catch frogs a lot. And